Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we're gonna do something interesting. We're gonna do the prediction for the 2025 Pittsburgh Pro. Now you guys know that show has always been only the biggest guest posing of the year. There are also pro divisions in other classes, but never in the open. This year it's different. It's actually going to be a show, open show, and we have a lot of entries. A lot of great bodybuilders are doing that show, and we got at least 6 top 10 Olympians. Half of them are even in that top 5, so it's a good show. It's going to be a hell of a show, and in this video, even though we are 3 weeks out, more like 2.5 weeks out, I'm going to do a prediction because already I can pretty much see it. I mean, I think I can see it, and I want to make a prediction and actually stick with it until the show because I think I can see it. I think I can get it right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's not really the point of this channel and my purpose, but I'm gonna try to do this for fun. So let's begin. We're gonna do the top 5, but for that 5th spot, we got a couple of guys who are gonna be very close to one another. So, in my opinion, Bonac is not making that top 5. I know he made a lot of progress in the past couple of years, like he was at his best back in 2018, 19, 20, and then he fell down a little bit for a while, and then he came back, and now he looks really good. Some people are saying he looks better than ever. I have to disagree with that. Even though he came back and he looks really good, it's still not the best Bonac. There are still flaws in his physique that are going to be exposed at this show when he faces all of these heavy hitters here. So against guys like Sas Hierati and James Hollister, yes, he wins. But against this top 5 at Pittsburgh Pro, I don't see him winning. I do think it's going to be very close, and I could very well be wrong. But I'll say Bonac is out of that top 5 in that 6th most likely. So who's going to be in that 5th spot? Personally, I feel like that's going to be Michal Krizo. That's right. Now, you guys saw all of the updates that he posted, and it seems like he's super shredded, super peeled. I don't know if he was ever in this kind of condition, especially at this point in prep. You know, at 3 weeks out, he's already peeled to the bones. And there is some talk about Krizo potentially surprising everybody, showing up better than ever with improved posing, now that he has a posing coach, and maybe like with some improvements in certain body parts, and with the best conditioning and the best peak we ever saw him in. Yeah, he has a new coach now, again a posing coach, maybe somebody to help him with training as well. But even though I do think he's going to be at his absolute best, I still don't see him placing higher than 5th, and I could be wrong about this, but if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's gonna come as a surprise to most people. I think it's very realistic to place Krizo at that 5th. Simply because even though he does have some really impressive like front shots, you know, like most muscular for example with those freaky arms, he's still incomplete. Like from the sides, there are some gaps in his physique, from the back as well. So I don't think he is as well-rounded as the other 4 guys. And those 4 guys are all very similar, you know, in terms of structure. They're all similar height, they're really big for their frames, and I think they might have a separate call-out top 4, and then the second call-out, I think we might have like Krizo, Bonac, and maybe some other really good guys who are doing this show as well. Now, in that top 4, like you know, we have Derek, Nick, Martin, and Guduito. So who is placing 4th in this call-out? I'll go with Guduito. I mean, some people kind of have him higher. Some people might say that he's going to beat Martin Fitzwater this year. And based on what we saw from Martin yesterday, that guest posing, you know, it could be the case, but I still feel like Guduito is definitely less complete, worse of a poser. I don't think he's going to be able to present his physique in the best way possible. If he actually did that, then maybe it would be a different story, but because the way he's presenting himself on the stage, I don't see him placing higher than 4th and beating those 3 guys. Again, like presentation, and I would say completeness as well, like his back is not on the level of the other 3 guys. And yeah, like he was close to Martin last year at Detroit Pro. Martin made a ton of progress, Good Vito made progress as well, but even though this means Good Vito is somewhere in the top at a Mr. Olympia, top 10 for sure, I don't see him higher than this. I don't see him higher than 4th. So in my prediction, he's going to be taking that 4th spot. So now we are left with Derek, Nick, and Martin. And I think you can guess who's going to be in that 3rd place. In my opinion, that's Martin Fitzwater. Last year, he lost to Nick Walker. And he lost to Derek Lunsford as well at the Mr. Olympia. Nick Walker at the New York Pro was horribly off. That was one of the worst Nick Walker additions we ever saw on the stage. But Nick still ended up winning simply because of like the level of muscularity, the size. Like Nick is that big that he can get away with being not super conditioned or with having a bloated midsection or having a little bit downsized legs. Like that was not a very good Nick. Still he won. And now it feels like, Nick, to me at least, it seems like Nick made a ton of progress, and yeah, I think Martin also made progress since that New York Pro, but did Martin make a lot more progress than Nick? No, and that's why I don't see Martin beating Nick or Derek. Derek was also horribly off at a Mr. Olympia, and he still placed very firmly above Martin. Martin was kind of battling with Andrew Jack. He wasn't really in conversation to go against Hardy, Samson, and Derek. Even though he was in the call-out, he was still a level below. So I don't think Martin is yet in that conversation of like the top bodybuilder, the potential Mr. Olympia. He might get there in a couple of years or sooner. This year, I don't see that. So in my opinion, Martin is taking top 3 at Pittsburgh, which is still a great result for this lineup. And then we get to the top 2. I think that's going to be the top 2, Nick Walker and Derek Lunsford. Now, you guys know that Derek always beat Nick on stage. I would say he even beat him at guest posings too. If those were judged, I think Derek would win every single one. And you guys know that last year Derek was horribly off. Nick didn't show up. In my opinion, if Nick was on the Mr. Olympia stage last year, the way he looked 2 weeks out of 2023 Mr. Olympia, I think that Nick would beat Derek from last year's Mr. Olympia. But what are these guys bringing to this show? I think we can all agree that it all depends on like the peak, how conditioned, how full, how well peaked these guys are. I think each one of them can win and beat the other if they actually bring something better on stage. So what are these guys going to bring? As far as Derek, like, he brought something really special to the Arnold Classic stage. That was his best look ever, in my opinion. What Chris Aceto did with him was a phenomenal job. Like, he was big, he was full, he was conditioned. Derek just doesn't have those crispy lines. I don't know if that's oil, synthol, site injections, or it could be like a lot of, I don't know, GH and insulin. I don't know, but like, his lines are not very cut. Like, he has a lot of blurry body parts. It's all basically a mesh. I mean, you can see like a lot of lines in his glutes, so it means he's conditioned, right? And like, he had some good lines in his quads this year, but like throughout the chest, throughout the arms, even the back, like, it's not the most crispy look. And Nick can show up actually extra crispy. When Nick is well peaked, he's shredded, he's detailed, he's dug out. So when Derek is on, that pretty much means he has lines in his quads and like lines in his glutes, and he is not holding a whole bunch of water everywhere. So that's Derek when he's on. And when Nick is on, you can see a whole lot of cuts, a lot of separation, high quality muscle details everywhere, and a lot of size as well. Like, Nick doesn't need to be full and round because he's that big. He's a lot bigger than Derek, a lot bigger. So all Nick needs to do is come in skinless, shredded. And the way he's looking right now at 3 weeks out, it seems like he's going to be peeled. And if that is the case, and that's the way I see it, I think it's going to be the case, then I do have Nick actually winning the Pittsburgh. I do have Derek placing second. Yes, I know. Derek always beats Nick. Nick never beat Derek so far. But I think that's going to change this year. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's the way I see it. And yes, I'm cheering for Nick for sure, but I also think he's going to do it. I'm guessing part of the reason why Derek brought such a good package to the Arnold Classic was because he had to prove something. You know, he lost his Mr. Olympia title and he actually placed third from being the Mr. Olympia. So he came back and he wanted redemption, and that's why he delivered. Now, is he hungry enough? You know, he still needs to save some energy for the Mr. Olympia. Why is he even doing Pittsburgh? That's the question. And Nick is not even qualified. Derek is qualified for the Mr. Olympia for life. He won the Mr. Olympia title, so even losing the Arnold wouldn't cost him his Mr. Olympia spot. But as far as Nick, he needs to win a show. He needs to win a show in order to qualify, and he knows that, and this is also going to be a test. Like, if he loses against these guys, where does it put him in the Mr. Olympia placings? So I think Nick is driven more than before, and especially after he failed to deliver last year, after he injured himself the year before, so he is motivated as hell. And also, forget all about that, if you just take a look at Nick's physique right now, I think you will agree with me, because currently he looks peeled, man. He looks shredded. And this is 3 weeks out, so he has enough time to get even crispier, to get dehydrated and dry for the stage, to maybe carb up even more, to lose some more body fat. I think we're going to witness something absolutely nuts from Nick Walker. Once he steps on that stage, I think it's going to be lights out, because I think he's going to be that impressive. That big. Again, he's like almost 280 right now with this condition. You know, with that size and with super crazy level of conditioning, I don't think this guy stands a chance. So in my prediction, I do have Nick Walker winning Pittsburgh, and then in second it's Derek Lunsford, and then it's Martin, and then it's Goodwito, Krijo, and William Bonac in that sixth. That's the way I see it, guys. Let's see if I'm right in 2.5 weeks from now or 3 weeks. Whatever you guys think is going to be the outcome, give me your top 5 or top 6 down below in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. For more content like this, guys, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. All the best, and bye-bye.